Hello and good morning, Thailand. Welcome to episode number 37. The tables have slightly turned here today. My name is Junaid Sheikh, also known as Jay from the Thaiger, and I will be your host today. And joining me today as my co-host is Tim Newton.
Hi.
Hello, Tim.
Good. Oh, great, Jay. Tell us, what have we got lined up today?
Well, let me just start off by giving a quick COVID update. Today in Thailand, we have 56 new COVID-related deaths and 8,685 new infections. 146 of those infections were found among Thai prison inmates. The numbers are slightly lower than they were for the last 3 days. They're lower than 9,000 for the first time. So I hope this downward trend continues to go down.
Yeah, well, if we have peaked in the number of cases, new cases, and we are heading on a downward trajectory, that is a good thing. But I think most of the pundits are thinking that we will at some stage cross that 10,000 milestone, which will be a sort of an emotional and quite emotive milestone that I don't think anybody wants to reach. But we'll put our trust in the number gatherers, and let's hope we are heading in a downward direction.
Let's do. Let me introduce our guest for today. You might already be familiar with her. Tim did a little video piece with her over the weekend. Joining us all the way from her ASQ hotel is Stefanie. Good morning, Stefanie.
Good morning.
Go on.
All right, Stefanie, let's just start off by asking you, you've had a couple of days to take this all in. Let's just start off by asking you, how are you coping with everything? How are you feeling?
Well, I'm quite fine. I'm still not happy to be in ALQ instead of enjoying the islands, but I'm doing the best to have a good time and to not lose my good mood.
Sure. Would you like to give a quick, brief introduction to who Stefanie is, Tim?
Well, Stefanie, she arrived all the way from originally Germany via Dubai. Right, and the idea was to come to Thailand to do some extensive travel, to stay here for quite a long time. So rather than being what we would call a Sandbox tourist, Stefanie was very much a sort of person who was using the Sandbox as a way to come here without having to sit in a quarantine hotel in Bangkok for 2 weeks. Hasn't quite worked out that way. But that's what brought Stefanie to Thailand, right?
Yeah, exactly. I had booked a Bangkok hotel and I switched to the Sandbox to enjoy a bit of freedom.
Well, more details on the Sandbox and how it all went wrong for Stefanie. Stefanie, what we'll do for now is I'd just like to ask the viewers, if you have any questions for Stefanie, Stefanie will be more than willing to answer your questions. Please type questions at the start of your question so Tim can ask those questions for you to Stefanie. As for now, we'll take a small break, and here are the headlines for Thailand today. And welcome back to Good Morning Thailand, episode number 37. I am Jay from the Thaiger, your host, and joining me today again is Tim Newton.
Yes. Hi, I've got lots of questions too when you're ready.
So we have an interview currently with Stefanie, who's a Phuket Sandboxer stuck in an ASQ hotel. We have the viewers asking her questions. But firstly, Stefanie, let me just ask you, a lot of people want to know how you're really doing. So in this ASQ hotel, they provide you with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I just want to ask you, how are you being treated? Like, how is the food? Do you have a lot of choices? Are you having good meals? How's it all going?
Yeah, it's going okay. We have a set menu with like 3 choices for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I don't really like the breakfast, but there's always a lot of fruit, and I got a huge fruit basket as well. But the Thai food, I always choose the Thai food for lunch and dinner, and this is quite okay. It's nice, it's tasty. The presentation isn't so good because it always comes in plastic boxes, and we are creating a huge amount of plastic waste. The taste is really good.
I see. Tim, any questions for Stefanie yet?
Yeah, a lot. So let's start with Ainsley Roland Drake, who says, hello from Canada. For those like myself who have received 2 brands of vaccine, AstraZeneca and Moderna, would there be any issues entering Thailand? I think the answer at the moment is no. They're starting to accept mixed vaccines. Yep. This one to Stefanie in particular from Reactor. Stefanie, do you feel ripped off to pay high rates for the hotel? What's your opinion on that one?
Well, the rate is really high. I'm not sure how this is all put together. I think the hotel doesn't get as much money as I am paying. But yeah, the rate is really high. It's like 52,000 baht for 2 weeks. It does include 2 COVID tests and the meals, but it's really, really high compared to my SHA hotel.
Stefanie, you had said over the weekend that you paid around 54,000 baht, so I think that's what he's referring to. You've paid an extremely high amount. You said it was 3 times the original price that you paid for the original hotel you had booked. As we know, you can actually book a 5-star hotel for half the price if you weren't in an ASQ hotel or in quarantine. So my question is, do you feel that this is a fair price?
Well, not really. And I don't see the service that will justify this kind of high price. Okay. The room is cleaned like every 3 days. I get meals in plastic boxes. And yeah, that's it. People here in the hotel are really nice, and that they are doing their best to keep me comfortable, but still it's not justified.
Fair enough. Tim, another question.
Yes, from Bob Dobbin, says, hi Stefanie, does her room have a balcony for getting fresh air, or is she confined to the room and house air conditioning?
Yes, it has. This was very, very important for me, that the room has a balcony and it has air conditioning as well.
We've got another one here from Werner B, who says, what type of visa did Stefanie apply for long stay? I think you came in on a tourist visa?
Yeah, I came in on a tourist visa. I have the 60-day tourist visa. I'm going to extend it for another 30 days or maybe 60 if it's still possible. And I will try to switch to an education visa. I'm already looking up language schools because I would like to learn Thai. But if this is not possible, then I have to choose other options, like maybe travel on or whatever.
And Stefanie, have you received any help from the German consulate in Phuket or the German embassy? Has anyone been in contact with you?
Yeah, I wrote an email to the embassy and to the consulate, and there was somebody getting in touch with me very quickly, and they offered support, but actually they can't do anything. So it was more like a moral or a mindset support.
I see. Any news about the insurance? I knew you were waiting to find more information on the $100,000 COVID-19 insurance you bought. Is there any luck from hearing back from them?
More or less, I did hear back from them, and they asked me to provide loads of papers, like the official order to quarantine and my PCR test results, and an invoice from the ALQ hotel. So I'm trying to get these papers together, and I still haven't them. So I don't have any final decision from the insurance. But I hope, and it looks like it's, I hope they will pay, and it seems quite good. It looks quite good. But just to, for the viewers, so they don't mix it up, it's not my insurance
I think we're having some technical issues with Stefanie's internet there. We'll get back to her very shortly. Tim?
Yeah, I'll just go through some of the comments from people whilst we're just on a bit of a break with Steph there. M. Maranta says, any good TV channels? D.S. Berg says, it's fair because of extra cleaning, nurses and 3 meals per day. And 3D Ping says, all including service. So he thinks it's okay too. We've got people from Pitsanulok, from Chicago, from Qatar, from My Cow in Phuket. Stefanie, it's not very unfair to put a person with a negative test in an ALQ hotel and allow people who are positive to fly back to the UAE. So people are giving us a lot of opinions there. We've got Stefanie back online.
Stefanie's back. Hi, Stefanie. Do you want to finish what you were saying?
Yeah, the connection is really bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not my insurance, not my health insurance for the 1,000 COVID coverage, but it's the insurance from the Emirates airline. They have an insurance with every flight. It's called multiple risk insurance, and they will probably cover.
Oh, we seem to be struggling with the internet there a bit. I was hoping they'd give her good internet as well. At least, I mean, so she could go through the whole quarantine process, but seems like she's not doing too well with the internet there.
That's all right. These things happen. I think another thing we were going to ask about, the magic question, was there was a photo that we had in the interview with her on Saturday.
Yes.
You were asking a question about that.
Well, there was a picture of Stefanie and a person who was presenting the flower basket or the fruit basket to her. So I was thinking, how is it that if a person has to be put in quarantine because she's a risk for COVID-19, how can then another person go inside her room to talk to her to be less than, it was less than a meter apart?
Let's ask the lady herself. She's back online.
Hi, Stefanie.
Stefanie, who was the person who gave you that bunch of flowers the other day?
These flowers come from the president of the Phuket Tourist Association. He was in contact with me after our first interview, and he offered his support and was very sorry how everything was handled. So he sent me actually 2 baskets, really huge baskets with fruit and flowers.
I see.
So who was that person, though, and how were they allowed into the room?
I don't know really. I thought when this lady knocked on my door, I thought she was coming from the Tourist Association, but I guess it was someone from the hotel, one of the hotel staff. I'm not really sure.
Okay, well, I wonder if she has now to be in quarantine, maybe?
Yeah, it just seems strange if you're actually in an ASQ situation that a stranger walks in, albeit with a face mask, and it didn't quite make sense to me, or who they were, or if they were in quarantine before they came in the room, or if they have to go back into quarantine. It was all a bit strange.
Yeah. Tim, any more questions? We had some comments regarding if you had regarding entertainment in your room. I can see that you're struggling a little bit with the internet there, but how about, do they give you a lot of TV channels? Do they give you any
all in Thai
sources of entertainment while you're stuck there?
I have a TV and I have a list of TV channels with no channel really appealing to me. I didn't switch the TV on, so I have no idea if it's good or not. Right now I'm just reading and answering messages and giving interviews. So this is my kind of entertainment right now. I didn't try to stream any movies, or I don't think that will be possible.
I see. Okay, we'll be back with more viewer questions right after this break. So we'll be back in 2.
Tim was sad. He had time on his hands, but didn't know where to find the news. But then he remembered. The Thaiger app. All your Thai news and Thaiger videos in one place. Just a single click takes you to a one-stop connection to all the news and information in Thailand. Now Tim is happy. Available free on Apple and Android, hologram not included.
Good morning, Thailand. Welcome back after the break, and we're asking Stefanie your questions. Tim.
Yes, we've got one is a comment from Zamzam says, I don't have any faith in the Sandbox. That's an opinion. From Robert Takai says, how did Stefanie like the postcard of Phuket with a nice sandy white beach that was put with her flower bouquet?
Yes, I would much more like the sandy beach instead of the postcard.
So can you actually tell us where you are staying?
The hotel is called Andakira Resort and Spa. I think it's the full name, and it's in Patong.
Okay.
Why did you... Oh, well, you ended up in Patong. It's not as if you had much choice.
No, I didn't have any choice, actually. This is one thing I'm really missing. Like, every SHA hotel should have a list of ALQ venues you could go to if this case happens, but there wasn't any, and I did have only one option to go to.
Well, I think thanks to you, Stefanie, things have slightly improved. Today, this morning, I found a couple more options for ASQ Hotel for people looking for one, so I think that's all thanks to you. Another question, Tim?
Yes, from Ron John, the question, when is her next test?
I had the second test the day before yesterday. I still haven't gotten official results, but the manager yesterday called me and he told me that it should be negative because nobody contacted me.
Okay.
Bacon Overflow, Jay says, is the food good? Can you order outside food? Have you got Food Panda on your app phone?
I haven't tried ordering food outside because actually lunch and dinner is quite okay. But
Are you allowed to?
I think so. I ordered stuff from 7-Eleven and this was absolutely no problem at all.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That seems a bit sort of odd as well.
I mean, that doesn't make sense why that would be allowed and you not being able to go out. But
It's quarantine you have when you're not quite having quarantine.
strange rules. I mean, they're a bit muddied, aren't they? It's difficult to understand fully.
Christopher Penny says, question for Stefanie. Sorry, I tuned in late, so not sure if somebody already asked the question. Did you get a refund for your SHA Plus hotel and tests?
I believe you did.
I will get a refund, yes. I haven't gotten it yet. It will be transferred to my credit card. They told me that I will get a refund.
Okay.
Swim Coach Asia says, things do not add up. Stefanie's the only person who got rounded up from outside the group. What about the people who stood near the guy in the baggage collection? Stefanie must be very unlucky. What are your thoughts about that, Steph?
Yes, but actually, I'm not really sure about how COVID is really transmitted. I think what I've read is that you have to be near a person for a certain amount of time. So I think the people who just passed by this guy aren't really in such a high risk as I am, who was sitting 6 hours just next to him.
I see. Another question, Tim?
Yes, Sam O has a question for you, Stefanie. Can you order alcohol?
I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not sure. I read on the internet that I'm not allowed to have alcohol during quarantine. Actually, I don't understand this rule because I'm not in the Betty Ford clinic. It's an ALQ, and I'm a grown-up person. But I haven't tried to order alcohol.
Stefanie, are you allowed to use any of the facilities there? Do they have a special gym or pool area reserved only for you since it's an ASQ hotel?
No, I'm not allowed to leave my room.
Oh, I see.
Not even go to the corridor and just walk a little bit up and down. I'm not allowed to leave the room.
Apparently, if you're delivering fruit and flowers, though, you can go into any room you like.
Well, everybody likes fruits.
Oh, was that sarcasm? I'm sorry. Robert says, how did Stefanie like the post? Oh, we've already done that one. I thought we've already answered that, Robert. How about the immigration staff you talked to on arrival? Are they in quarantine?
No, I don't. I don't think so. I have no idea, but I don't think so. The same rule applies like to the other people surrounding the guy tested positive. It's just a very short amount of time that I was in contact with these people, so I don't think that they are running a high risk.
Okay.
I see. So is it true, Stephanie? We have a message here from Gordon Duncan. In ASQ, ordering from 7-Eleven and food is banned. However, if you are nice to the ASQ hotel staff, they will order the 7-Eleven food for you. So did you order it through someone or did you order it directly?
I ordered it through the hotel staff. I asked the manager via WhatsApp if it would be possible to get some soft drinks from 7-Eleven. And then I sent him the pictures, what I want, and he delivered it to my door.
I see. Any more questions, Tim?
Yeah, Ron John has the question. When the test is negative, what are your options then? Has that been outlined to you, Stephanie?
No, actually nobody told me. I asked if it's possible to get out of quarantine if the second test is negative, but I didn't get a reply to this. So I guess I have to stay here the full 14 days. But I will write another email and try to ask again. Yeah. Try a bit of begging.
Stephanie, you had said that eventually your plan was to travel to Chiang Mai and learn Thai, but you said that after you get out of quarantine, you will most likely stay in Phuket for a while. So I guess I want to ask you, as soon as you get out of quarantine, what are the places that you like to visit in Phuket? Have you been here before? Are you a frequent traveler to Phuket, or is this your first time?
This is my first time to Phuket. I never chose Phuket because it's quite a touristy area. And I think I will really enjoy the islands here because now it's quite empty and it's a different mood than it is normally when it's full of foreign tourists. What I would like to do is just, I will get back my scooter. I had rented a scooter on the first day. So I will get this one back and just drive around the islands, try some beaches and maybe go diving. And I found an off-road motorcycle park who offer training on going off-road motorcycling. I would like to do that. Visit Phuket Old Town. Yeah, just normal stuff.
I see. A quick question before I throw it to Tim. A question from Bruce. Any idea how many other people are in the same circumstances as Stephanie? Stephanie, I believe you said that there were 14 people. I think there was a family of 12, you and another person from the flight. Is that correct?
More or less. I'm not sure about the one other person who doesn't belong to the family. Maybe it's just the family and me. It was a huge family, and the guy tested positive is part of a huge family. So they went into ALQ first, but they asked to be flown home. So they returned already to the UAE. Yeah.
UAE, sure. Tim?
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Brad just asked the question, where do you find a list of countries which travellers can take a part in for the Phuket Sandbox? You can find that list on the Thaiger. They're only allowing people who are coming from what they describe as low or medium high-risk countries. Low and medium risk countries. High-risk countries are not allowed in. I think they're sort of designated yellow, orange and red, but that's published every 2 weeks and updated by the Public Health Department in Bangkok, and that list is available at thethaiger.com, and we update it whenever they change the countries. If you ask me a specific country right now, I won't be able to tell you, but if you go to thethaiger.com, you'll be able to find that list. Sure. Obviously, people from Germany are considered low risk.
Stephanie, I have a question here from Mr. Mitch and Christopher, 2 in 1. I guess you are going through a lot of mixed feelings through this whole process. So I guess a lot of the questions are asking, a lot of the tourists like you, you're coming here for a long stay, 30 to 60 days. So one question was, if you knew this could happen before you booked the trip, would you have booked it? I'm guessing you were aware that this could have possibly happened. It's very unfortunate that it happened and these measures were taken. But if you're coming here for 60 days, would you say that it's worth it or you regret it?
No, I don't regret it. I would do it exactly the same way. I get a message here. Sorry, I was distracted because I got a message on my monitor.
That's our life for half an hour every morning.
We feel your pain.
Yeah, I would do it just the same. It's just for me, it was an alternative to not stay in Bangkok and ASQ. I was very unlucky to be sitting next to the one person tested positive, and the chances that this happens are so low that I was aware that this could happen, but I didn't even consider it because it's I think it was like less than 1% chance to happening.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, no one would have predicted. I mean, you would have definitely not predicted this to happen, but I'm glad you feel that way. Tim?
Yeah, Thailand e-biker has a good question, and this is a question you probably would ask anybody renting a motorcycle in Thailand. Does Stefanie have a motorcycle license?
Yes, I do. I have a motorcycle in Germany, a 900cc Triumph, a street twin. I'm used to riding motorcycles, and I do have a German motorcycle driving license, and I have an international driving license, and I also have this special international driving license for Thailand.
So you're a serious biker.
Yes.
An international world traveller.
Yeah, for sure.
Any more questions, Tim?
What have we got just coming in? Question, does Stefanie have... Oh, I just got that one. People ask the same question 2 or 3 times. What would they have done if you had... Well, actually, I've got a question myself, and this is something we may address tomorrow with a lawyer. But what if you said, when you were at the other hotel, no, I'm not going, I'm not leaving. What do you think your legal rights were?
I have no idea. Probably they would have called the police and just
dragged you out.
Or whatever. I have no idea.
Yes, this is certainly a grey area with the Sandbox, Jay. And I think, if nothing else, the case of Stefanie and her trials and tribulations and all the grey areas have been slightly clarified. But we will try and find out a little bit more about the legal rights of these people who are being taken to ASQ and being made to pay again. I think that's quite an interesting conversation and something potential Sandboxers would like to know about.
Definitely. Any other questions for that, yeah?
That's about it. No other questions. What fun... okay, this is a little bit of a personal one from Pundit. What fiscal bracket are you in? This would affect your views. So are you a person who doesn't have to worry about money, or you're on a fixed wage? What's the situation without entering too much into your privacy?
Actually, I saved some money and I sold everything, all my possessions in Germany, which gave me some money too. So I have enough money for traveling, like maybe half a year, up to a year if I'm not spending too much. But I'm a freelancer. I'm a freelance translator and author and copywriter. So I will be able to work everywhere as long as the country allows me to, which right now in Thailand is not the case. So maybe I have to leave Thailand after my travels to go to some place where I'm allowed to work.
Okay.
But I'm hoping for the smart visa to get into effect, these digital nomad smart visa.
We have a question here, Stefanie, from Steve, who's asking, why did Emirates not have an empty seat between passengers? How busy was the plane? Were there a lot of people traveling?
Yeah, there were quite a lot of people in the second leg of my flight. In the first leg from Frankfurt to Dubai, it was almost empty. But in the second leg, the flight was quite full. We had a spare seat between us.
I see.
I was sitting at the window window. Then there was a spare seat, and then the guy tested positive was sitting at the aisle. But it's just like 60, 70, 80 centimeters, not even a meter between us.
I see. Tim, any last questions before we say goodbye to Stefanie?
Yes, one last one here. Greg R. asked the question, was Stefanie informed at the time of obtaining her visa of the possibility of being put in an ASQ if such an event happened? Did you read the fine print, Stefanie?
I think I've read it. I think it's the COE in the COE application process. There is some fine print about this case of this possibility, but I didn't consider it really relevant because the chances that this happens are so low. Yeah.
All right, Stefanie. Before we let you go, is there something you'd like to say before you leave?
There are so many things I would like to say. First of all, thanks for your support and for the support of several other people who got in contact with me. And I still think the Sandbox is a great way to come to Thailand and travel. And like I've said now 3 times, chances that this case happens are very, very low. So I would definitely take the risk again.
Wow. All right, Stefanie. Well, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to coming in and having a chat with us today. And thank you for your positivity and wish you all the best. And I hope you have a great time as soon as your quarantine is done. So it's a bye from us here now, from me and Tim. We'll talk to you again hopefully soon and maybe next week.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to talk to you.
All right, Stefanie, take it easy. Have a good day.
Thanks, bye.
Right, so that was Stefanie. So, Tim, now that you've spoken to Stefanie, how do you feel?
Well, I think Stefanie's been very positive about the whole situation, and it's been obviously very difficult. But as I said earlier, it's, I think, clarified a few things and a few questions that people would have had if they are coming to Thailand. What are the situations they're going to face? And I think the exposure that Stefanie's had through people like Richard Barrow, through other channels, through the Phuket News, it has been able to demonstrate some of the things that may happen to you and the way that the situations have been handled. My questions would be about what are the embassies able to do? Do they have any power to do anything? Or are the people who are put into these ASQ hotels at their expense really just at the whim of the local tourist associations or the police or the public health department who are administering the laws relating to ASQs?
And that's a good point you made about being able to afford this, because I mean this happened all of a sudden, and at that moment she had to find her own hotel and pay that much amount of money. I mean, not everyone is able to have that much amount of credit to be able to pay for the hotel, so that's definitely might be a problem for some people. However, we have a special guest tomorrow, and we will be answering some questions regarding the Sandbox and regarding Stefanie's situation through a legal aspect. Is that correct?
Yes, we hope to. We're hoping to get Ben back from Integrity Legal to perhaps get into some of these grey areas. Comment here from Bacon Overflow. Where's Junaid from?
Where is Junaid from?
Spill the beans.
I was actually born in India. I am an Indian citizen, but I have been living in Thailand for 20 plus years. So I feel a bit strange. I feel I'm more Thai than anything, but I consider myself half Thai, half Indian. Well, I guess that's all we have for today. So I'd like to thank Tim for giving me the opportunity to host the show today and for being a great co-host.
Oh, thank you. At least I can do.
And I'm
slowly backing out into the background, a bit like Homer Simpson disappearing into the bushes, so that we can get the better people on camera and hosting the program.
Oh, you're too kind. So that's all we have for today's show. I'd also like to thank Jason, who's behind the camera, pressing the buttons, doing everything by himself. And I'd like to thank you for joining us today and watching our interview with Stefanie. If you have any comments, please leave it in the comment section below. And thank you, and have a great day.